I have with us Alexa Nieta, and she is a fascia first movement education and body worker and the founder of Helix Movement, which is a movement style and also a learning platform. She also mentors other movement and manual practitioners to incorporate fascia into their work, offers, and brands. And Alexa is also a previous client of mine, so I know about her and her work intimately. She's a genius. She's amazing. And it's been such a privilege to witness her entrepreneurial journey and really like trailblazing in her industry. So I'm so excited to introduce you to her story.
I think it started first with trusting you, trust that you have built through social media, the messaging, the relatability, where I found myself listening to you, found myself, wow, this is me. I started dabbling and I had no idea of astrology or not much, and got your recommendations, got your reading, which was so eye-opening. And for me, the evidence was experiential. And what it really gave me, it's trusting that path and trusting my intuition in a way more, saying this is what I'm meant to be doing. And that permission of saying I'm meant to be doing this already gave me almost like a float for the moments where the waters were really wobbly, or I didn't know where it's going to go, or shall I do it or not? And it gave me this float that continuously went forward. And that felt so incredibly helpful. And it worked. The evidence was there. I mean, in these 6 months, I had several launches of the membership. I launched a fascia clarity coaching, which filled up immediately. I made way more money than I have ever made before monthly in my business. And weaving back to the money part, I think not knowing your money mindset and the very accessible and natural and holistic way how you teach it, I felt like this basis of the money work guided me through, and you always brought it back in during the mastermind, guided me through to have almost a map that I can refer to and say, this is where I'm at the moment, and this is where I want to go. And it was really helpful. So also for my nervous system, not feeling shame about numbers or numbers of members, numbers of, financial numbers, and seeing them as an evidence point where you are at and where you can move on towards. And it was very successful. Like it worked. The astrology worked. The money mindset worked. But you need a reminder in your mastermind. And I feel like I have this imprint now when this fear is coming up. I still can lean back into this 6 months experience, knowing that this is normal to feel that way. It's common, and there are ways to think differently and to get out of this thinking pattern of these spirals you get into, the journaling prompts you gave us. And I started doing them naturally in my head. So it becomes self-talk to keep you moving. So, which is so helpful. I must say, I feel I've grown so much in those 6 months, and it's because it was so constant. The weekly either Voxer, and then we had the calls. So constantly being in conversation with you and being not afraid I was so not afraid to really share with you the shameful, in my head, in my perspective, shameful thoughts and fears, and being met with so much, a big heart and listening ears and understanding, and the ability to help me to reframe this and to put it into perspective it's carrying me still. Like it's unbelievable. And I now remember also how comforted I felt when I was in your mastermind, how you could actually always zoom out and tell me where I am and how it fits into my journey. And it was something I knew, but I couldn't put in words, or I didn't have a concept about. And you helped me with that so much that I even now feel I'm journeying through new iterations, and I feel comforted by you giving this structure and the idea around this is part of your marketing, this is part of your branding, this is part of your business growth. Also working with Sarah, trust your intuition. When you listen to Sarah's story, she has gone through a lot. Highly recommend also to read her book, where you learn about her story. And that alone gives you the permission to be totally yourself, working with a coach, a mentor. And I think that prevents you going astray, trying to be someone else or moving with the reflection that others project onto you, but rather going your own path. You also get always a few good nudges, because Sarah has the strong ability to see you and really takes her time to reflect on you, on your path. There is a deep questionnaire at the beginning of your journey, for example, where the questions are so deep, where she begins to understand you, and you're not getting away with bullshit. With, Sarah knows you after a while, and she gently nudges you always back into the right direction, which I've found super, super helpful. I want to say, what I've built also within that time, and that I learned also and helped me a lot, is whilst being a part-time solo parent. And that's why I also appreciate your work so much. So I did all this and I continue doing this. There's more to come. And it's so amazing to do this calmly and safely and feeling like I'm not chasing the carrot, whilst having time with my son, whilst really enjoying the time and not making him the fifth wheel on the wagon, but actually he's the center and the why of what I'm doing. And having this in both my passion for my work and my son, and obviously my partner, who is half of the way, it's such a gift. So yeah, just wanted to say this.
Yeah, thank you. Evidence
So
that
where can people?
it can be done.
It can be done. Yeah. And it can be done slowly too. But it's thoroughly, and it's with heart, and I'm not burned out, and I have time. I learn to hire people with you too, which is fantastic, and not feeling guilty of hiring and outsourcing things. Yeah, I think it's super important, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to shoot for the star within your 1 year. You can do it slowly and prioritize what's also important in your life, and that feeds your business as well. As much as it does your physical health. I can only recommend working with you. Just evidently, I am in a place where I could not be at without your help. And it doesn't feel like someone pushed into somewhere, or that I feel like I have overdone things or something. It felt really, I'm in the right place now. And I almost feel like I'm sounding really cheesy, because I'm a big believer in your work, and I'm so glad I took the time and energy and investment in working with you, because I feel at home in my business, in my journey. Also, sometimes it gets rocky, and that is part of the journey, but I always can lean back onto this 6 months experience of where I learned so much and became also more of myself. So yeah, that's all I can say.